Well, as you're in the kitchen tomorrow prepping for your Thanksgiving feast, you know all the hours of hard work. You know what? It's going to pay off when your family gathers around the table to share a meal, right? And make new memories. Well, prepping is also true of retirement planning. So what better idea than to bring two of these guys here, the Valley's premier financial advisors, Damon Roberts and Matt Deaton. They're also going to share a recipe, but this whole idea is to help us better understand that preparation is just as important in retirement planning, right?
Absolutely. If you don't do any prepping for retirement, if you don't take the time to put things in place, then when you get there, you're going to have hardly any options. So you need to plan ahead and be prepared so that you've got options.
You're going to go hungry, is what you're going to say, is what you really mean.
Thank you.
All right, so Matt, you're going to share this recipe with us, and you have all of your ingredients here. What'd you just put in the bowl?
Yeah, so this is my famous waffle recipe. So I make this anytime my family comes into town. I discovered this recipe in Florence, Italy.
Wow.
So
world traveler,
well, it was I discovered on the last day. I wish I would have found it sooner. So what we're putting in is 2 cups of flour. You're putting in 3 eggs and 1 cup of butter.
Okay.
And you're going to mix this up, and it is a sticky mess.
Oh, good.
But it turns out to be one of the most delicious things you're going to eat.
All right. Well, I'm going to stand back because I'm not quite sure how versed you are with the mixer. But Damon, you know, this whole point and why we're doing this is for you to help people to understand that it takes all of the right ingredients. And what are those ingredients in order to have a successful retirement plan?
Well, just like Matt used the flour and the eggs and the butter, we all have the foundation of our retirement. That's going to be your Social Security, your 401ks and IRAs, and sometimes a pension. But knowing how much of those to use and when to use them and how to do it to get the maximum benefit to you is the key.
Ah, just like a good recipe, right?
Absolutely.
Okay, but there's also a secret ingredient that you have here, Matt. What is that?
Well, the first thing you got to put is you got to make sure your yeast is actually working. I cooked it one time and my yeast failed, and the waffles, it was some serious disappointment with the family. They've outkicked me out.
Right, and so that could happen in your retirement planning, right? If you don't have the yeast just perfect, you're going to have an epic fail when you want to retire. See how this is all coming together? Do you follow me, people?
You know, and it's interesting. It takes an hour for that yeast to rise. You got to wait for it.
Yeah.
And a good retirement plan, really, you ought to get started early so that you have time to work that plan, so that it will give you the maximum benefit and tons of options when you want to retire.
Wow, I'm really liking this analogy here because I get to eat afterwards too,
Yeah.
so this is working for me. But here is something that's really cool that you add to your waffle mixture after you let this rise.
Yeah, so this has to rise for an hour, and then you bring your secret ingredients. Now this is a chunk of sugar.
Okay.
So solid sugar,
and when like hail in
when you cook it
bottle.
up, when you cook it up, it will crystallize in these waffles. And so we've got one cooking right now, but you would basically sprinkle that in, and you're going to mix that all in, and those are going to be all around. So right here we've got one that's been cooking for a little bit, and these things are pretty sticky and yummy. But then what you do is you can load it up with Nutella, strawberries, whipped cream, ice cream.
Shush up.
I mean, you might need to talk to your doctor if you're diabetic if you can even try to eat this, but it's pretty ridiculous.
It is ridiculous, and what's even more ridiculous is if you don't plan for your retirement, you're not going to have anything to eat at all, right? Thanks, guys. This was awesome. Unfortunately, we don't have the recipe, but if you want it, you can just call Acute Financial and they'll give it to you. How about that? If you want to be in that category, you want to get your retirement cooking, no pun intended, grab a pen, write this number down right here. For the first 25 callers who call in, receive a free retirement readiness review. 480-620-6907. Learn more at acutefinancial.org.